Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a best of 5 from DreamHack Summer 2020 between Reynor and INnoVation, starting here on Ice and Corone, the latter edition. Top right-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player Reynor. He is Italian and very good at this game, and in the bottom left, we have the red Terran player INnoVation. He's Korean, and he is also very good at this game. Man, this is going to be an even matchup at the very, very highest levels of StarCraft 2. I'm very excited for this. Hit the like button if you are as well. And Ice and Chrome is the site of very many excellent games. Just, you know, easy to take expansions. There's not a very straight path between the two bases, which leads to just basically armies passing in the night here, just taking different paths to get to the other base, and then all of a sudden, hey, hold on a second, you're attacking my base, I'm attacking yours. Ah! That's an accurate reenactment here. Okay, so barracks coming up in INnoVation's base, 16, 18, 17 here from Reynor. Nothing too crazy, and we have a Reaper name ready to go. Are we ready for this? I think we're ready for this. All right, so this Reaper's name... Oh, no. I need to expand it out. It's a little too big for the screen. Hold on a second. All right. Reaper name Prisoner 626. They say a man never knows himself until his freedom's been taken away. I wonder, how well do you know yourself? Prisoner, step up to the platform. Convict 262. Murderer. Tyrant. Traitor. Today you go free. But as you learn, every freedom has a price. Combat suit sealed and locked, you'll carry your prison with you. That armor will be your new cell. Make no mistake, war is coming with all its glory and all its horror. Mr. Findley, your freedom awaits. I actually just played through that out on Twitch. I'm going through the StarCraft 2 Brutal campaigns out on twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin on Sundays. And just did that first mission just a couple weeks ago. So that's fresh in the mind. That opening cinematic. So good. 2010. Can you believe that was 2010? StarCraft 2 came out 10 years ago, guys. Bonkers. Absolutely crazy how fast time goes these days, especially during the quarantine times. All right, so anything crazy here from Inno? No, the same darn things he does most of the time against Zerg players. Going for the factory, going for the starport, you know, going for some Hellion harass here. I mean, Reynor should have a pretty good idea of what's going on, be able to deal with it. Is this Reaper going to get any kills today? Look at that. Look at that positioning. Ow, ow, ow. Fine. Dang it, says the Reaper. I mean, Tychus Finley in a Reaper suit, for whatever reason, he's so big and buff. Like, I don't know that he'd fit in a Reaper suit. Look at this. Look how skinny this Reaper suit is. No, I don't think his legs would even fit in the armor. So, not going to happen here. Third base timing is at 3:30 for Reynor. A little bit later. Interestingly enough, and I wonder if that was the Reaper blocking. Very well could have been. Hellion showing up, so INnoVation is slowing Reynor down here in game number 1, which is great. Just always nice to see. Hellion, ooh, creep tumor sniped, and is he going in? Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, there's speedlings. There's going to be a bunch of queens out. It's very dangerous. But Prisoner 626 does hop in, checks the timing on the lair, says, okay, that's all I needed to know. Let's get out of here. Let's get on out. It is going to be a lair timing. It's not going to be any kind of a Ling Baneling flood style thing because lair is on the way. You don't need lair for any kind of that stuff unless you want to go for Baneling speed, which I guess, sure. Indeed, but it will slow you down quite a bit there. So either way, there's not a huge attack coming is what that lair timing says. Just keeping the vision out, and a bunch of Hellions are showing up here. Liberator in production too. Early Liberator, probably going to be for harass. Hellbat timing. Oh, there is an armory. Trying to watch that come through on the production tab. Reynor trying to hold it in here. The Hellbats getting on up right in the face. And there are just Lings and Queens. We've seen this work. We've seen Zergs hold this off with Lings and Queens before. It is hard to do, but there's Marines in the mix too, pouring an additional DPS into these Queens. Another Queen down. The Queen's running away with very few hit points. Additional Hellions coming in, turning into Hellbats. Drones are getting massacred. Again, this is a pretty aggressive attack, which means you can sacrifice some workers and still come out on top as long as you survive. But I don't know if you can survive here. Another queen down, more drones out of here. If these drones at the back get all roasted up, that might just be GG. Lings desperately pouring in right now. Oh, the drone transfer. Some of them die, but that is a sacrifice that they were willing to make. More Hellbats marching on in. 14 drones have gone down. It is 41 to 25 workers at the moment. Reynor is holding as hard as he possibly can, but no! That is a GG. INnoVation gets the win. Reynor did not have banelings ready. Did not have roaches ready. The Ling Queen hold is possible in some situations, but against INnoVation, very hard to pull off. Extremely difficult. What a ridiculously good play there out of Inno. And I really do feel like at this particular, in this game, I had to mute for a sneeze. What great timing, sneeze. In this game, Reynor was like, this is a big, long map. This is usually a macro-style map. I'm going to go for macro-style. I'm going to drone my face off. And if we look at it, yeah, he'd started to creep up in worker count, take advantage of that. And then a bunch of Hellbats showed up, and he didn't have any banelings, and he didn't have any roaches, and he only had queens, and he lost 6 of them, and 43 Zerglings died. And yeah, 3,000 to 1,000 resources lost. Beautiful. Just a fantastic display of INnoVation's ability to come in and smash you in the first 5 minutes of a game. He's more known as a macro player for sure, but I mean, the longer the game goes on, especially against somebody like Reynor, the harder it's going to be to beat the Zerg, especially on this map. So INnoVation's like, I'm going to show up with my Hellions, I get my armory. I don't know that, oh yeah, Reynor had no scouting information at all. None. He didn't know if there was an armory. He didn't get any of that, that important info. I wonder what he's going for. I mean, he really only got a baneling nest, and then he had to defend forever. But what was the lair going to be for, I wonder? I guess we'll never know. Let's move on into game number 2 of this best of 5. So far, whew, what a match. We'll keep going. Game numero 2 is here on Golden Wall, the ladder edition. Bottom left, we've got Reynor. Bottom right, we've got INnoVation. All right, so Reynor has learned his lesson. INnoVation is not going to do macro games against you this entire series, Reynor. And Golden Wall is not very suited for macro games. It's got a short rush distance. It's got this little back path here that are good for proxying Reapers, good for proxying Stargates, but no Protoss here. So Reynor, do some scouting a little bit better this time, and hopefully you can hold off whatever INnoVation has planned for you today. It's going to be good. God, I'm so excited. This is such a fun series. I mean, a lesser Zerg player would have died so much faster to that Hellbat attack, but Reynor, he was on top of his macro. He had a bunch of Lings, he had a bunch of Queens popping out. But Inno's just too good. Just too good a Terran player. That's why I picked him. I picked him to win GSL Season 2. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, although at this point, it's been over for some time. So let me just say, he broke my heart. INnoVation, why did you do it to me, man? He didn't win GSL Season 2. It's all right. It's fine. Whoa. Oh. Did he command center first on this map? And oh, you madman. He did. He command center first, then walled off with his barracks. Is he going to expand back here? Or here? That is kind of hard for a Zerg player to punish. Like, he has to mine out his own back wall and then maybe send Lings over, but the scouting information, all he's going to know, man, this is really good. I like this build from Inno. There's not much that Reynor can do to see what's happening right now. He can't tell it's a command center first play. Or else he'd go for a third base like now at sub 2 minutes, which maybe he is. No, that's just a regular transferring drone. Yeah, all right. And it's a Marine here from INnoVation too, not even a Reaper. So Reynor should be able to know something crazy is happening here. No Reaper shows up. If he does end up scouting this, he's going to see there's not a command center there. Oh, okay. So he puts the command center here so that he can mine this out more efficiently. He's not mining it all the way back to this command center. He's using this one, which again, you're like, but Falcon, it's about 10 feet. Yeah, it's not that big of a difference, but it is more efficient pretty effectively. And one more trip and he's through. All right. Crazy. And then he lands down here for his natural base. So the trick here is that Reynor's going to show up with his Overlord and be like, so you're one base in me? Ah! And he's going to panic. But no, it's definitely a 2-base INnoVation. He's just taking this backdoor base for reasons entirely unknown. Why? For the mind games, it can't be any more efficient for him as far as income goes. It's not a gold base or anything. Again, it is better... It's better protected against attacks, especially if the Zerg players know what's happening. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, there's a Marine. Okay, so the Overlord's like, Marine, all right, backing on out. We're not scouting in there at all. Look at that Marine. Just that little wall. Very nice. And then this Marine exists basically to make sure that these don't get mined out and he's caught unawares. So third base coming up for Reynor again in about 3 minutes. He's not going for that 230 third. Lings are out. Hellions are out. It's a fusion core. And then it's just a regular battlecruiser rush off of 2 base. What the heck? Yeah, I can't imagine this is any slower than it would be to expand out here based on what I saw there. And it wouldn't... I don't know. I really don't know why he did that. Other than to keep Reynor entirely in the dark. I mean, he's going to think it's a 1-baser. Oh, hang on, hang on. The Overlord got speed. He didn't scout the fusion core. Oh, no. He didn't scout the fusion core. Hellion. Goodbye, Hellion. He does scout the lack of a natural. He knows this is mined out, and he knows there's supply to open back here. So I think he assumes there's a second base based on that. But he doesn't know about gas saturation, and he doesn't know about the fusion core. Okay, this Overlord, though, is going to see it. Nicely done, Reynor. Coming back in. Sees the battle. Sees the 2-port battle cruiser. This is hard to deal with. This is really difficult for Zerg players to handle, is this 2-port battle cruiser opening, because one battle cruiser necessitates at least 5 queens plus a spore at each base to anchor your defense. If it's 2 battle cruisers, suddenly now you need 10 queens and maybe a couple spores at each base to anchor the defense. And having 10 queens is harder than having 5 queens. He only has 5 right now. Or you try to desperately to get up your your lair and your spire, which you can't do fast enough. This is a build I don't know that I found an answer to yet. Mine through here, pushing on in. The Lings are going to try to break through this wall. I mean, the problem is there's a tank. And like one tank can hold kind of infinite Zerglings against a wall. Dude, this is just... okay. If Reynor does this, it'll be the first time I've seen it held. Ready? You gonna go? Is he gonna wait for Yamato? No, he's gonna go. Alright, so they jump to a fairly safe location where they're not immediately being hit. But look at this. How many queens do we have? Okay, there's 9. Alright, alright. 9 queens are out. Reynor managed to get the queens together that I wanted him to. Battle cruisers being super annoying right now, which again is pretty much their goal at this stage of the game, is to be incredibly annoying. Spores up just so there are free hits on these things anytime they come anywhere near these drones. It's not going to kill them, but it is going to dissuade them from doing much. Ooh, an evolution chamber snipe that's working on +1 armor would be really good. But no, can't quite get it. You know what? Reynor's defending this just by double pumping queens constantly. He's at 11 right now. The 2 battle cruisers don't want to engage here at all. And the spores are doing their job. Yeah, 2 spores per base. Ton of queens. Have a nice day. 4th base, probably canceled though. Yeah, the queens can't get out there. They're just too darn slow. Marine trying to take down a replacement 4th base of Reynor's and the bottom side here, but Zerglings make sure he's dead. All right, so Reynor held it. The trick is just make more queens. The answer to early battle cruisers is always more queens. And then you go into Aspire as soon as you can, just in case it's going to be like 5 or 6 battle cruisers, in which case you definitely want those corruptors. I think a jump's available. Yeah, these guys could jump out anytime they want. Couple creep tumors going down. Nice clearing there from INnoVation. Going +1/+1, moving into bio here. So he's not moving into a mech out of this battle cruiser opening. It is definitely just going to be bio. These Lings are in a position where they want to jump on this attempt for INnoVation to get a 3rd base, which I really appreciate. And yeah, look at all this. Look at all of us living down here in the bottom side of Golden Wall. Doesn't happen all the time. But when it does, it's very entertaining stuff. Did he just secure that? INnoVation, seriously, shows up with a tank, puts it up against the wall. He's got Marines. He's throwing up supply depots. Got another tank to fall back to in case too many Lings show up. And the battle cruiser's back here. The Queens are not in a position to stop this. And suddenly, Reynor's 4th base might be in a lot of trouble back here. Where are the Queens? They're hoofing it. They're hoofing it over, but I don't know if they're going to get here in time. The damage output on 2 PCs is kind of nuts. And 3-2, the Lings jumping on top. They did get the 1 tank and the other tank, but the back line of tanks, enough to shove the Lings away. The hatch goes down. The battle cruisers get out. 9 kills and 6 kills is not a huge number of kills, but they have forced a cancel on the 4th base for Reynor once, and they killed his other 4th base straight up. Nuts. Nuts play here from INnoVation. He might just go 2-0 here. 2-0 opening against Reynor, which is bananas. 8 Mutalisks in production from Reynor. We have seen really good players like Rogue, like Serral, like Reynor go Mutalisks against battle cruisers, and has been pretty darn effective here. So now the question is, do we have anything to do with the Mutalisks? How many Marines do we have out? The answer is a good number. Do we have any Thors possibly? That would be better. Although, what we saw from DRG in GSL Season 2, sees the Mutas before he gets out, is that Mutas are actually pretty good against Thors. You just have to consistently magic box them in a really elite way, and those Thors are going to die. Alright, so we could get there. We could get there for sure. Concussive Shell, 2-2 coming in as well. Reynor is 4th base is up top left. He's getting a 5th base right next door to that. The creep spread is okay. The Mutas are trying to find places to harass. But again, INnoVation was given some advance warning here. So these Mutas are not showing up completely blind. I'm sure he was expecting it as well. Basically, when there are more than 1 battle cruiser out, Mutas or Corruptors are going to pop out at some point, just to help deal with those. And so INnoVation was ready with the anti-air, and he's okay. So this game 2 is a ton of fun. Again, we got people setting up shop at the bottom side of the map, which is not something we always see. We got some battle cruisers out. We're moving into a more traditional tank marine style. Centrifugal Hooks is on the way, and it will be here in time for future engagement, so there's nothing to worry about for Reynor. Thor production has begun here too. The Mutas are trying to shark around here, do some damage. Million Queens are out. The creep spread with 13 Queens has got to be pretty good, and it is. It's reached out halfway across the map already. Infestation Pit on the way from Reynor. And we'll see what he does with that tech. I don't know that Swarm Host would be a good idea. I'm not sure that Ultras would be super good here either, but maybe. Maybe Ultras for the ground army and then Mutas to clean up the battle cruisers. There's Banelings waiting at the top of this ramp. So very brave to go up here, INnoVation, but it kind of works out for him. Gets a couple free spores. Pushing in to the, what's the 3rd base, I guess, though. No, the main base. There's not even a base here. I was so turned around. Trying to break on in, and suddenly the doors are open. The Banelings are rolling in. They've got speed. And holy smokes, the ground army is getting wiped out. The Thor is here to absorb the shots as well as it can, and it's going to absorb a lot of Baneling shots, but it does go down in the meantime. However, the main base of Reynor is a ghost town at the same time. Lings are in the mineral line for INnoVation, however, and he is going to retreat. Reynor is out of here. The responding army is a little bit too much. The Mutas want to save themselves for another day. Reynor is going to lose his lair. He's making another one. I'm guessing as far away, the 3rd base. And yeah, the lair goes down. The main base for Reynor is a total ghost town at this point. Income for both of these players is favoring Reynor by about 800 minerals, which isn't a massive amount, but it is a lot, and over time it's going to get better. More resources coming across the map here for INnoVation. More army supply, 130 to 105 total. I mean, losing the main base here, yes, he's got tech structures elsewhere. He's got a lair up at his 3rd base. He is replanting his spawning pool, so he's not too far behind and trying to catch up here. But he's expanding again? I don't know. I think Reynor's macro and expanding timings might just be a little bit too much here for INnoVation. He's on 3 bases, yes. He's a little terrifying, yes. Look at the Mutas with the magic box. Oh, that left side did not magic box very quickly, but enough Mutas there to take out the Thor and take out the Marines and take out this tank. INnoVation needs to kill bases now. He might be able to shove these mutas away, but he's lost a lot of stuff. These barracks are under direct fire at the same time. I don't see this working out. I don't see this working out for INnoVation right now, but he does get some Marines up and shove the Mutalisks away. Taking so much damage. Yamato on the Queen, so they're not as big of a deal here. Lings and Banelings crashing on everything down this way. Are there enough Marines remaining? It looks like there are enough Marines remaining to actually continue this push up towards Reynor's third base, which again is the hub of a lot of the tech and effectively the new main base for the Zerg player. Look at this, 118 to 68 army supply. Dude, did INnoVation just win this? Suddenly he's got more forces streaming across the map. Reynor has a handful of Lings and Banes and Mutas, and you know what? Oh, taking out one of the battle cruisers. Banelings splash on and everything. The other battle cruiser goes down. He does manage to hold. He does manage to hold there. INnoVation has taken a fourth base along the bottom side. He's mining from the gold up here too, so I guess maybe it's a fifth base. And his income is actually creeping. It's in his favor right now. Creep spread getting pushed out. Remember when I said Rainer's done a great job with creep spread? INnoVation, I think, has done a better job clearing creep today, which is another job you got to worry about if you're a Terran player. Muta's coming in right before the turrets finish. Oh, hang on. Two of them are done. That could have been worse. Could have been worse. Free medevac there, though. Nice control out of Reynor, taking advantage of the situations that are presented before him. Finishing that turret, I feel like, would be a decent play. But Army Supply 114 to 95, just pumping Marines and Marauders right now. His medevac count is high enough. He doesn't have to replace them, which is huge right now. And it's just going to be Baneling Muta out of Reynor. Trying to jump in, trying to stay on the edge of the creep. INnoVation does not want to engage here directly. The pre-splits, pretty good. Thor's at the back, doing some hits there. Reynor has to pull back out of here. Meanwhile, Baneling's just crushing INnoVation's gold base, and they're going to do the follow-up. Well, they were trying to do a follow-up there, but man, it is sword control up this way and down that way. But INnoVation continuing to push. Again, has an army double the size of Reynor's, 112 to 65. But continues to lose SCVs back home. Marauders having to handle this Baneling stuff, which they're not a huge fan of. Reynor's fifth base or sixth base or whatever the heck this number is over on INnoVation's side of the map is going to go down to a handful of bio. The pre-splits are great. Any scans available? I think he needs to use the energy for mules more than anything else. I think he did just call down a ton of mules down on that left side base, which I don't think Reynor knows about. He doesn't know about that base. That's a huge saving grace for INnoVation right now. The Mutas are just looking unstoppable. More SCVs getting killed. He's actually pulling home to deal with these Mutas, which buys Reynor a bunch of time that he needs to catch up on army supply. He's making more Lings. He's making more Mutalisks. And he's up to 82 to 121, which again, better, not super duper great. Resources lost, 27,000 for Reynor and 17,000 for INnoVation. This has been one heck of a series. Yeah, man, Baneling, Muta. There are no Infestors. There are no Vipers. This is Reynor doing this without Spellcasters, guys, which I don't think bodes super well for him in the long run. Ling's trying to get down here and do some harassing. Nope, get chased away, and they still don't check this base. It's a planetary, so it's very well defended. 147 to 100 total supply. INnoVation has that lead. Lings cruising in everywhere they can. Reynor actually trying to retake this backdoor base that he had earlier. Trying to sneak that in, but actually they are neighbors that are unaware the other one exists. That is so many Banelings, but they are off creep. They are off creep, and they're not very fast. And he killed a bunch of them before they could connect with anything. The splits from INnoVation are disgusting right now. All the Banelings are gone. A handful of Lings come up. Those Banelings did not do what they wanted to do. A Thor gets absolutely picked off there. The Mutas in the main base are killing INnoVation's main orbital command. That's how crazy this game has been. I think this game gets an epic tag just on its own. We're 17 minutes into this thing. This hasn't even been like a 45-minute insane game. It's just a 17-minute insane game, which happens in the Legacy of the Void, you guys. More Baneling. The target firing there was pretty fantastic. Lings and Baneling don't like what they see here. Reynor loses another base. Mutalisk a base racing at this stage. They say never base race a Terran, but that's exactly what's happening right now. Inno's down to 41 workers, but army supplies 128 to 54. The spawning pool down. Huge. Trying to replace another Baneling nest. Nope. Reynor does not want to go gently into that good night, but it's going to happen anyway. Another hatch going to die. INnoVation's been on a rampage. He's going to catch some Banelings on the backside here. Another Thor's going to die. Yeah, it does. It does explode, but there's just too much Terran remaining for that to matter. This Mutaflock is having the time of its life today. They've killed so many SCVs. It's 28 workers remaining for INnoVation, but Reynor is second base. His second main base is toast. The Mutas did find INnoVation's little mule hideout over here in the bottom side, 5th. This game is stupid good. Oh my gosh, this is such a good game. And good game, INnoVation takes a 2-1 lead on the young 18-year-old Reynor in a disgustingly, incredibly entertaining game. That was so fun. Holy smokes. 41,000 resources lost for Reynor, 25,000 for INnoVation, and it still felt like a very close game. 56 SCVs died. 21 drones died. The income was actually favoring Reynor at the end of that game. INnoVation's was so terrible. So bad for the 18-minute mark of a match. I mean, 50 Mutas died too. Again, Reynor, I don't know that I trust you with Mutalisks, man. I'm just saying, there have been games where I've seen you lose so many Mutalisks, and this is definitely one of them. Yeah, end of the day, it's 10 Mutalisks and 2 Lings against 34 Marines, 20 Marauders, and 2 Thors. I mean, INnoVation's army supply isn't like all the worst terrible thing, but oh, INnoVation never knew about this one. Reynor barely found out about this guy down south, but no, INnoVation didn't know about that. But yeah, Reynor is stuck. He's got a Spire down there, but he lost his spawning pool. I mean, he lost his hive. That was crazy. INnoVation replanted this in all of the chaos, remade some SCVs. Was he just making it? He was just making SCVs, man, the whole time. Despite all the carnage, despite all the damage done by these Mutalisks, there's still 28 workers. Again, not ideal for the number of bases that he has, but it could have been worse. Okay. Well, God, do we epic tag the whole series basically for that one? We might have to do it. It's 2-0 right now from INnoVation. I mean, if it turns into like a 3-0 sweep, for example. Hard to say. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's keep going. We have more StarCraft from these 2 stupid good players. Don't go anywhere. We're on Pillars of Gold for the next match. Top right, Reynor. Bottom left, INnoVation. We haven't actually cast many games on Pillars of Gold on this channel, but it's a pretty fun map. The bottom right base and the top left base are very, very far away relatively from any other base here. Maybe not this one, but man, it is hard to hold as a Zerg player. So I kind of feel like this is a Terran-favored map. But, we will see. You ever listen to the Falcon Paladin Hour? It is a weekly podcast with myself and Somicron. He's an Aussie. We talk about StarCraft 2. We make bets on GSL, which is a ton of fun. There's a reason I'm flying an Australian flag in my front window right now. If you want more details on that, check it out. Also, just more, Falcon's thoughts on things like the latest Dresden Files book, Peace Talks, his thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2 that he played. Just other ways for me to get out my thoughts about things that I just can't fit into cast because there's too much amazing StarCraft happening. Oh, is Reynor? Oh, he's just checking for a proxy. He's like, if I get proxied here in Game 3 and lose 3, I'm going to be really mad. So I'm going to spend some time looking for a proxy. And there's not one because INnoVation. Just making the barracks back home. Things are cool. Things are totally fine. Anyway, just search Falcon Paladin in your podcast app. You'll find us. We're also on Spotify. Just search Falcon Paladin Hour in Spotify, and you'll find us no problem. We're also on every browser. Just search Falcon Paladin Hour on a website, and you will find us there too on several places. Last.fm, Podcast, like Pod Heaven. I mean, there are a million podcast hosting sites out there that just aggregate every podcast that ever exists, and we're out there too. So check it out. Enjoy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a weekly thing. It's about an hour. It is the Falcon Paladin Hour. Check it out. Enjoy. Reaper name is Dwight Schrute. Emperor Menks promised Dwight that if he got 4 kills as a Reaper, he would be promoted to Assistant Regional Manager of the Dundon Mifflin base on Jupiter. That one got 4 upvotes. People like The Office quite a bit. I watched it when it was coming out because I'm an old person. And it was a new episode every week. And good. The Office is good. Oh, good memories. NBC back then had this, like, The Rock had like 30 Rock, The Office, something else going on Thursday nights. I don't know. NBC was killing it. They're not quite there anymore, I don't think. Reynor 230, third base. INnoVation expanding on the low ground, feeling pretty safe about things as the Reaper or the SCV scouted. And now the Reaper's up here, and Dwight Schruteman 4 kills to get that promotion. Can he do it against Reynor? Probably not. Against a lesser Zerg player, maybe, but also probably not. That queen's gonna pop, and his window is closed for the time being. But can he stay alive? We're gonna keep our tab on him. We're gonna keep an eye on him and see if he stays alive and see if he racks up any more kills. Again, in INnoVation's hand, it's very possible, as long as he doesn't jump into getting surrounded by a million lings a lot of times. That would be bad. Anywho, man, those first 2 games were tons of fun. INnoVation, just Hellbat attack, brah. And then INnoVation double battlecruiser attack that Reynor holds, but then it turns into this scrap fest where so many bases died and so many units died, and the Mutalisk count was nuts, and then 50 of them were lost. That was such a good match. That was so fun. Golden Wall gives us really fun stuff. I like the Golden Wall. I mean, Creep Tumor pickoffs count too here, buddy, but he's trying to stay alive for the Hellions. Let's watch for an armory. Are we going to get an armory today? Fusion Core. INnoVation's going again with the Battle Cruiser. Now, again, this is a best of 5. If Reynor loses this game, he's done. He's 3-0'd in the, I want to say it's the quarterfinals of DreamHack Summer. It's in the playoffs, but it's not like the finals or semifinals. It's definitely quarterfinals or earlier. Overlord really wants to scout this Fusion Core. 2 Marines are shooting it in the face the whole time, though. Well, more like the butts based on this. And does he get it? Oh, he got it. He got the Fusion Core scout. What a boss. What an absolute boss Overlord. Overlord scouting in there to see the Fusion Core. All right, so Reynor's like, well, I mean, I'm going to make a million queens anyway, so let's call it a day. He's getting a lair at 4 minutes. Maybe he's trying to rush to Spire this time. I don't think he was able to do that in the last game. He didn't get a lair for some time. I support it. If you want to get some Corruptors out, that really shuts down Battlecruiser Harass effectively well. He's getting a Roach Warren here too, just to deal with the ground army of, you know, a couple Hellions. And the thing is, if you're going Battlecruiser, you don't really have the resources to make a ton of Marines or a ton of Hellions or anything, because they're 400 minerals and 300 gas. Like, a Battlecruiser is crazy expensive. And Zerg players, I know, you've died to them, I've died to them, I hate them, but they're expensive and they take forever to build. There are some trade-offs. Goodbye, Dwight Schrute. You maybe got a drone kill. That's not enough to get promoted to Assistant Regional Manager of the Dunder Mifflin base on Jupiter. Rest in peace, Dwight. And Yamato coming in here too, so that indicates we're going for more than one battle cruiser. Like, getting Yamato for 1 BC is not super sensical. I guess a better way to say that is that it is in fact nonsensical, if you speak English, like I purport to do. All right, so battle cruiser out, second battle cruiser coming in. It's not a 2-port situation, so you have to wait for the other one to be built. And shabonk. We're just gonna attack here with some Hellion support. But look, there's roaches and queens. No! This is not happening. The Hellions are getting nothing done. The battle cruiser's getting nothing done, and INnoVation has to go home. Assess the situation instantly, and it was like, peace. That's not happening. And he is not wrong. That is not happening. Meanwhile, did you... Wait, what? The front door was open? INnoVation, what is happening? How... No. Alright, Inno left the front door open and Lings got in. Unless that was a bust. There's not a Baneling nest. So... Oh, I gotta see. I gotta... It was just a front door open situation. Oh, it was walled off with the orbital, and he felt very safe. And then, in the worst timing of all time, he lifts it off to go land it on the third as the Lings are right there. Holy crap, that was the worst timed orbital command liftoff in the history of man. And if INnoVation had been looking, he would have seen the Lings coming in before he lifted, but he just had it hotkeyed, I guess. Hotkeyed, lift, moved over, and then suddenly the Lings are in his house. Dude, Reynor, if he timed that, if he timed it, like he knew about the time that INnoVation usually likes to lift off that orbital command and landed on the third and then took advantage of it, that is a disgustingly Gosu play. That is Reynor at his best right there. Hot dang. So he kills 7 SCVs. He is up 66 to 46 workers. Hot dang. Huge income advantage right now. Big old spike when all those SCVs were off the line. They're back now. So it should go back down towards INnoVation's side. 4th base on the way from Reynor. 3rd base already done for Inno, though. A little bit dangerous. Hellions trying to find stuff to do, but there's a handful of roaches here, and pop! Hellions gotta get on out. Get on out. Got some safety spores on the way, just worried about further battle cruiser harassment, which is fair because there's 2 and there's another one on the way. And there's a Spire coming in too. So Reynor's got this thing figured out at the moment. Creep spread happening. Battle cruisers on the way. So he did he actually do any repairing on this? I'm not sure that he did. Oh, those queens though. So Yamato one-shots queens, which is nice if you're fighting queens. The transfuses are helping here a little bit. But just more and more queens keep coming up, and it is time to go. It's time to get on out. Jump back home, maybe get some repairing, especially on this guy that is down to 70 HP, which, yikes. Hey, ever check out the store? Check out the FalconPaladin.store website. You can get Falcon Paladin merch down there. We have shirts and hoodies and mugs and pillows and all sorts of great stuff. If you want to check it out, check out FalconPaladin.store. On any browser. It's a great place to go. Corruptors are out. Alright, man. So Corruptor Roach Ravager against effectively Hellion Battlecruiser. This looks pretty good for Reynor, I'm just going to say. There's 1 tank, which doesn't seem like... Okay, there's 2 tanks, which doesn't seem like enough. Corruptor count is enough to handle, I mean, the battle cruisers for sure. Reynor agrees, and he's going for it. He's like, all right, take down the tanks with the corrosive vials. Actually, no, going against the missile turrets with it. Anyway, whatever, it's happening right now. The missile turrets are trying to help against the corruptors. The repair on the battle cruisers is really good, too. The ground army is gone, and you know what? The battle cruisers are alive because of repair for the most part. Holy smokes. All right, so that tank tries to siege up, but it dies before it gets a shot off. Another tank there in the main base. Okay, so the tank count is not great right now, but... And 14 SCVs died, which is terrible. But it looks like we're cleaned out of the natural 3rd base. Getting a Ling counterattack, though. More SCVs going down. Y'all, INnoVation had done a good job catching up in worker count here, but... there's another spike as more SCVs die, as more SCVs got pulled off the line. So Reynor was going for the kill, but the repair on the BCs was too good. 2 battle cruisers with 11 kills is not bad. Tank production continuing here at 3 at a time. He's worried about this ground army, and you know what? He could handle the Corruptors better than I expected him to. That was great. The missile turrets were huge. The repair on the SCVs was huge. Reynor coming back around. He's got a 111 to 44 army supply advantage. But there's no banelings for the Hellbats, but there are roaches for the Hellbats. Corruptors again getting shots off, again taking missile turret shots directly to the face. And once again, it looks like INnoVation is going to be able to hold this. More Corruptors are coming in. The missile turrets do not look like they're very healthy. Battlecruiser down. This is okay. Suddenly things are going for the worse for INnoVation right now. But 7 SCVs out. Especially the repair. Oh, the corrosive bile and the battlecruiser goes down. Good game. Reynor fighting and scratching and clawing his way back here to take a 1 in his win total. 2-1 right now. INnoVation holding on. It couldn't quite pull it off. I mean, it really came down to this, didn't it? It really came down to, well, losing a ton of SCVs. He lost 49 of them, which is bad. But yeah, lifting off this orbital command when the Lings were pumping to run in anyway. That's like the worst timing I've ever seen for an orbital command liftoff. That was absolutely stupid. And then from there, it was just kind of downhill. He couldn't get any damage done on the other side. Reynor had the roaches available for the Hellions. He had the queens for the battle cruisers. They didn't get any damage done at all. One drone died, and I'm pretty sure that was Dwight Schrute. Pretty sure that was Dwight who got that done. So let's keep this moving. We are having a great time with the Specify for your Sunday series. Let's go ahead and hit that like button if you're enjoying it so far. We're not done yet. Stick with it. We'll be right back. Dithora, or Death Aura, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's going to be Reynor in INnoVation again, bottom right Terran, top left Zerg. Yeah, when I watch Tastosis in GSL, it is Dithora. But I kind of like Death Aura, but I don't know. Maybe there's no difference. This SCV is super early. Are you going to do a proxy here, INnoVation? I think we're going to do a proxy. Holy crikey, mate. Quick plug for Patreon. I am out there, patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to early posts, early casts that I put up a whole month before they show up on the YouTube channel. Check that action out. Patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. Again, just $1 a month. There are more options available for those who do want to support the channel more directly, and I appreciate that. I do have some people who don't... Oh, are you going to scout this? Oh, he's going to scout this. See, he checked this in the last game. Hold on. Oh, no! Oh, no! Wait, he's coming back! Oh, he saw it! That was so close. This third barrack screwed him. Anyway, I have some people who like to run ad block on YouTube, which is totally understandable, but they feel bad about not being able to directly donate to their favorite creators and support them financially because they really get a lot of enjoyment from what they do. So they use Patreon for that. So the drones have been pulled, and here's the thing. This is not going to work. It's not going to kill Reynor, but INnoVation could still come back and win this game. I've seen too many matches where the Terran player proxies, and then it gets scouted and shut down by the Zerg player, but then the Terran just floats home and wins anyway. It's one of the more bizarre aspects of StarCraft 2. Like, I don't know if it's possible versus Reynor, but I've seen it done against players like Rogue and Dark before. And Scarlet, so this is so much of a drone pull. Holy smokes. I mean, again, Reynor's up 21-13. He can afford to pull 10 drones off the line and do this and still be even economically. I love that he's still doing this. INnoVation's like, you know what? I'm not lifting off. I'm not going home. I'm going to keep trying to make this thing happen. Unfortunately, 8lings are on the way, and when that happens, that's a liftoff that is required at that point. You know what's funny about drones is they're faster. They are faster than Marines. And so they can chase them down. And when the Marines don't have any armor or attack upgrades, they actually trade pretty well in smaller numbers of Marines. So here come the Zerglings. INnoVation trying to hold with a good number of Marines here, but the backside attack, the Lings are on top of your house, bro, no, and everybody's dead. All right, so again, you'd think this is game over. No, no, it is not. I'm still making Marine. You're an insane person, Inno. Absolutely crazy. Where was he building a bunker? I swear I looked up the production tab. He was building a bunker. Look, man, INnoVation, this is not happening, my guy. Like, I love you very much. You're an incredible player. But, like, there's never in the history of StarCraft, at the professional level, has a proxy barracks been scouted that early and then worked anyway as a proxy barracks and killed the Zerg player. I don't know why he's still doing this. I mean, in fairness, his barracks are still alive, so that's a good reason to keep doing it, I guess. Whee! What's the lore? Like, what's the concept behind these speed barriers? Is he heading home? All right, so he's heading home. See, he done. He's still making Marines, though. The wall is fine. The Marines birthed from these barracks are instantly under attack by Zerglings. It is not a good existence. I mean, come on. You're a Marine. You're a convict of some kind. You're put into a suit and thrown out into the battlefield. But, like, and yes, you're probably going to die. But, man, the concept of You pop out of the barracks after being trained and fitted for your suit, and there's Zerglings instantly clawing your face off. Like, instantly. Is not a good feel. That said, INnoVation has somehow managed to scrape together 11 Marines. I mean, unupgraded Marines, don't underestimate them, man. There's that one dude who beat the whole brutal campaign of Wings of Liberty with just unupgraded Marines back in, like, 2012. It was kind of nuts. And Reynor in a spot of trouble here. He doesn't have speed. All he's got are queens. He's got a spine, which is really useful, especially against unupgraded Marines. Spines do so much more damage against unupgraded Marines. Yeah, look at this. INnoVation happily expanding inside his own main base. Happily sitting here at 23 workers. Reynor's on 2 base. He's getting a 3rd base now. But it's a bit of a normal match. What? What? Is Inno just going mech? Inno's running his barracks towards the Zerg player. For a second, he was going home. And then he switched directions, and now he's scouting with both of his barracks, which to me indicates he wants to do some meching. He's getting a 3rd CC. This is going to be one of those games, isn't it? This is going to be one of those games where the Terran player fails with the proxy. Oh, don't kill your own creep tumor there. All right. He fails with his own proxy and then wins anyway, isn't it? Isn't it? God, I hate those games so much. They make me mad. They also make me wonder why Terran doesn't just honestly proxy every game against Zerg anyway. Because, like, you have a pretty good high success rate with it. I mean, we've seen, again, elite Zerg players die to it if they can't scout it. And if it fails, then hey, maybe you're good. Oh, I don't know about this positioning, though. Oh, good surround on a lot of those dudes. And then the backside, all right. Reynor showed up with a bunch of speedlings at a great timing. And suddenly the natural base is toast. And suddenly there's nothing on the other side of this wall to stop this from happening, other than a couple SCVs on the repair, which is good. It will buy some time for the Hellions to come out. I assume, there's going to be a Banshee at some point, but there's not one on the way yet. So the Hellions come out, and they do save the wall. But the natural base for Inno is toast. And Reynor's on 3 bases with 51 workers. The income is, we'll say, a lot favoring Reynor at the moment. If the Lynx can catch those Hellions, that'd be super good, but more Hellions are on the way. So the Hellion harass. Jeez, this game. This series, it's getting an epic tag. This game, this whole series has been so good. I have a lot more stuff I want to cast from DreamHack, so if you have any requests, so things you want me to cast, you haven't seen me put up on the channel yet, please let me know. Just put your request in a comment. I'll see it. I read every comment anyone ever puts on any of my videos at any point in time. Even if you go back and comment on a video from 4 years ago, I'll see it, because of the way the YouTube studio works for creators. Is every comment shows up on the comments page chronologically in the order that they were made. It doesn't matter how old the video is. I've had people go back to like an old Hearthstone match that I put up forever ago and put a comment in and be like, haha, you're not going to see this, and I see it. So leave comments if you want to get my attention with something. It's not a bad way to make it happen. Also, you can join the Discord channel, which if you just search Falcon Paladin Discord, it should pop up a link for you. Also, in a lot of the videos, I've got a Discord invite link in the description, but I'm not convinced there's one actually in this video, and I'll forget by the time this thing posts anyway. But yeah, check it out. Discord. It's basically, I mean, how do I explain this to younger kids is the question. I mean, by younger kids, I mean like 25-year-olds. It's a chat room. Basically, it's giant. Each server has its own multiple chat rooms with different topics of discussion. And I'm in there pretty much, if I'm awake, I'm pretty much in there hanging out. Good way to get my attention too. So anyway, what else? Nothing. Zerglings cruising into the nat. Oh my gosh, he almost did it again. He almost did it again. Dude, he's going battle cruisers. What is happening right now? Also, a battle cruiser's over here. Huh. Missed that one. It's got 3 kills. Pow, 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 pow. Drones going down, but battle cruiser taking. Oh, that battle cruiser though. That battle cruiser though. Is that enough Hellions to fight against these roaches? I don't think it is, but they're trying anyway. They're giving their very best effort. But no, not enough. Reynor comes out on top. INnoVation taps out, and we will get a game number 5. What a fantastic, fantastic series this is. Oh, it's so good. How many workers died today? 18 SCVs went down. The income is definitely favoring the Zerg player right now, which is, I mean, it's like 4 bases to kind of 2.5 from Inno. But man, 54 workers. He just never stops making SCVs. It really doesn't. I mean, again, INnoVation almost came back and won that game after his proxy failed, and he stuck with it forever. Proxy's good unit, man. Terran has some options here. Reynor just too good. Just too good. Barely has enough to hold off against that big marine attack that showed up here. The spine was massive and brilliant. Then the counterattack was huge too, shutting down the natural base for some time. It almost happened again. INnoVation lowered the supply depot when the Lings were running in, and then managed to get it back up just in time. Stupid. Stupid match. This is so good. This is like the best series I've cast on my channel in some time. I'm hyped for it. Okay, game 5 coming at you. Very excited. Don't go anywhere. Stick with it. Hit that like button. Game 5, game 5, game 5, game 5. Game 5's on Eternal Empire. Top right, Reynor. Top left, bottom, INnoVation. Wow, that was a good start. All right, so game 5 here between these two players. Win and move on. Lose and go home. But maybe they already are at home because this is an online event because of the COVID. Maybe they're already at home. Although, GSL's got people in studio. But then Korea's numbers are good. I don't know, man. This is a really early drone from Reynor. I'd almost think it's a proxy, but he is expanding. He's just checking for proxies. Again, he's like, all right, look. I scouted the proxy in the last game, and I still almost lost. That was still a really hard game. We need to scout the proxies, or we're going to die. That said, Barrett coming up at home, SCV scouting around, checking the timing on the hatch, and Reynor feeling pretty validated with the combination of the Overlord scouting and the drone scouting. Pretty happy. Pretty happy about it. Okay. All right. Spawning pool coming up. Blah, blah, blah. Extractor done. Reaper on the way. Robert Langdon. To be fair, he was kind of tricked into joining the Reaper program. They asked him whether he would be interested in investigating alien symbols, and of course he said yes. He started to doubt when he received military training, but he really wanted to see those alien symbols, so whatever. And here he is! He's trying to read the walls and the ground, and also trying to survive. Robert Langdon, that's the Da Vinci Code main character, right? I read the Da Vinci Code back in, golly, 2005 or 6? Oh, I was so young. I was in college. I was living in a tiny apartment. That apartment had like the worst ventilation too. The windows would all fog up in the inside. It was terrible during the winter. Anyway, the memories. The memories of holding down a full-time job while taking a full course load at school. Yes. Yes. Anyway, Da Vinci Code was all right. I didn't enjoy it enough to read any of the future and further adventures of Robert Langdon. Robert here controlling the Reaper suit pretty well, considering he's like a professor. He did get military training, so whatever. We got there in the end. All right, INnoVation, you were up 2-0. You're kind of falling apart here, bud. Kind of struggling a little bit. What you gonna do? What's the follow-up going to be to your proxy that almost worked? To your battle cruiser Hellion attack that did not work at all in game 3? What's the answer here? It almost seems like he does better with, you know, the Marine Marauder medevac compositions, right? That's what was so awesome about game number 2 was there were so many times it was a huge engagement and he lost a ton of stuff, but he still had more left over because his splits were so good. And he kept pushing, just kept pushing here. Third base, again, about a 330 third for Reynor. What is he doing with this? I guess he's going for a faster lair. And I guess a couple more queens. Maybe he just gets a couple more queens out before he goes for the third, just to be extra safe. I might have to start doing that. Doing what Reynor does seems like a pretty smart decision in general in StarCraft, right? If you're a Zerg player. Anywho. What? Or Reactor, Starport, Tech Lab, Barracks. We could still see battle cruisers, but the third CC says not anytime soon. Reynor's Baneling Nest is up, and that is just, I mean, that is a comfort for Zerg players, is when your Baneling Nest is done, you're like, okay, if I need them, can make Banelings is so nice, especially in ZVZ, but in ZVT it's huge as well. Double NG Bay INnoVation's working on them upgrades for them bio units, getting additional barracks here, and okay. All right, so it's just traditional Marine Marauder stuff here with medevac support, maybe a couple tanks. Again, Reynor's dealt with this a lot more, but in the hands of a master, which INnoVation is, it can be very, very good. So far impressed. So far impressed with what INnoVation's working on. And, oh, okay, well, Robert Langdon's dead, and his Hellion buddies died too. God, I stepped about 10, 20 feet onto that creep. That's what a good Zerg player will do. That's what Reynor will do to you if you step onto the creep. Third base. Probably going to get harassed now. The Lings can do the counterattack because they know there aren't as many Hellions out anymore. Oh, Mule pick off. Oh, Mule pick off. Oh, that sucks. All right, Mule pick off. But not enough Lings to really, truly threaten the third base anyway. So Silver Linings. Fourth base from Reynor. Low ground with the high Rich Vespine Geyser here, which allows for more Rich Vespine, well, more Vespine Geyser to be returned per trip. So there's 2250 on it. And 2250. Okay, so it's the same amount of Vespine on a regular Vespine Geyser, but it just returns more quickly, so it mines out faster. We actually had that question. We were watching GSL. By the way, if you want to watch GSL with me and like Samicron and other people in the Discord channel, join the Discord and just be on during GSL events. I guess GSL events that make sense for North American times, because sometimes GSL is at 3 in the morning for North America, and then it's like, huh, that's not happening for anyone. But anyway, we have discussions like, do they mine out more quickly than normal geysers? And the answer is yes. The investigation is complete. Mutalisks out. Going for that Mutaling Baneling stuff. Centrifugal hooks on the way. Not actually getting the Wretched Vespine Geyser yet. Muta's doing what they can to be annoying at this stage, picking off 3 SCVs, but not really winning the game in any sense. Free Hellion, though. My favorite part of the Rich Vespine Geyser is that the drones glow purple when they're returning, which we're not going to see yet because there's not actually an extractor on that thing, which it always makes. And Muta's just finding damage where they can without directly engaging with the army. This is pretty good control out of Reynor. But again, we have seen him lose to INnoVation going Mutalisks, I think twice now on the channel. One was like a 30-minute super macro game, and one was game 2, where he lost 50-plus Mutalisks in both of those matches and lost to Inno. So he's a little bit aggressive, a little bit flippant, a little bit careless with them. Does get a refinery, which is nice. INnoVation looking real scary all of a sudden. Setting up outside Reynor's fourth base, rather. The Banelings on creep good. Banelings off creep not as good. And again, they got nerfed to the point where one tank shot will obliterate Banelings now, straight up. It used to injure them a lot, but not kill them. God, the Mutas are trying to pick off the tanks, but the Marine protection on the backside is just too much. Can Reynor hold on? Can he hold on to this base? He just, surprise bathing attack. All sides coming in from the bottom, coming in from the right, coming in from the top. But Marines off creep. Are there enough? Are the splits good? The splits are always good because it's INnoVation. Is there enough remaining? No! There's not enough remaining. This entire attack is completely cleaned up. There were lings inside the third base. Oh, Baneling? Did he make Banelings during that, Reynor? No, it's just Zerglings? I'm sorry. I know some of you guys hate rewinding, but these guys have been here for like 5 minutes. I like at some point Reynor's like, well, might as well go in, I guess. Yeah, while he's attacking there, he sends these guys in. Oh, that's so genius. That is Reynor, the triple-pronged attack, where INnoVation doesn't have the time to check out what's going on at his third base. He's trying to keep his army alive. And any attention he does give down here means there's less attention for the front door, or this main attack, and then he loses everything. Oh, Reynor, you're so good at this game. Both these players are stupid good at this game. Army supply, 61 to 43, but Marines are pretty much the answer to Lings and Mutalisks, so numbers are a little bit deceiving here. It's 82 to 44 workers, though. 82 to 44 workers. 23 SCVs have gone down. The income not favoring as much Reynor as you would think. Ling's trying to poke in, but guess what? There's a defense force there now. Reynor's getting a 5th base, which is awesome. And, oh, come on. Reynor, you are a little gas starved. Get some, yes, get some disgas. Look at it, look at it. Ooh. Ooh, it's so pretty. I like it so much. I could watch this all day. No, hang on. Mutalisk's doing stuff. I'm trying to get that refinery again, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Wait. Shame on... It's the other way. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, says INnoVation. This is why this Marine is here, to sacrifice his life to give early warning to the fact that there are problems heading towards the third. Dude, Reynor just has enough stuff to straight up engage off creep here. INnoVation might just be done, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting pushed. He's getting pushed hard. All the way back to the natural base. The third base is abandoned because he has to pull up to there. But the Banelings aren't ready to jump in on that quite yet. There's 2 tanks in pretty good position to cover this area and cover this area. INnoVation's positioning has always been very good, which is always so important with Zerg, or with Terran, and not so much with Zerg. Oh, he did go back in. All right, he went back in. Baneling's firing on everything. That's your GG. When did... He just went. The Marines were a little bit out of position. These guys were not in the right place. The Mutas picked off the tanks at some point. These guys are not enough. And Reynor takes the series 3 games to 2 after being down 2-0 to start this thing. Insanity. Sheer stupid levels of insanity there. But I mean, yeah, the income was just favoring Reynor hugely over the last 5 minutes, consistently there. 24 SCVs died. Army value is 98 to 53. Reynor's happily sitting on 5 bases with a 6th base on the way. No, wait, is that done? Holy smokes, that's done. All right, fair enough. 85 workers to 43 is just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, Reynor went mutas and won. Good job, Reynor. Lost 11 of them, had 16 at the end of the game. So, I mean, not the most careful steward of his Mutalisks, but hey, could be worse, right? Could have been worse. Great series. Epic tag for sure. A couple of those games were amazing. This last one was okay. I mean, again, the Reynor up here, right? He's like, I'm going to attack you from here, from here, from here. And while I'm doing all that, I'm going to tell these guys to go attack into your third base. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous StarCraft skill from these guys. Both of them. Really hard fought. Reynor comes out on top. We'll move on. INnoVation goes home. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft. 2, Legacy of the Void. Crikey. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.